All right, let's try this again. We are back here in Avondale, Arizona. Qualifying already in progress. Little technical difficulty going on our end here. Sorry for that, but we are back up and running. YouTube and Facebook. I'm not sure if we're just having some network issues here tonight, but either way, we're live once again. Qualifying, as I said, just wrapping up. So far, Aiden Schultz at 26.79, top on the board. Not quite as fast as practice was. I think they put down a 68 maybe in the practice. Either way, Aiden Schultz appears that he's going to be on top here for the Arizona 200. We'll be back with the starting grid in just a moment. Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway. Our starting grid, qualifying in the books. Aiden Schultz, of course, starting from provisional pole, actually officially on the pole. Kevin Smith in that number 14 machine outside pole, starting second. Raymond Yeager is third. Tom Pritchard is fourth. Starting fifth is Nigel Payton. Starting sixth is Adam Malone. Seventh, Holler Boys racing Vincent Short. Eighth is Riz Clayton. Ninth was Justin Witcher. 10th, Tristan Coach. 11th is Jason Holdsworth. 12th will be Andy Barber. Rolling off 13th, Carson Conway, also Holler Boys Racing. 14th is Maxie Marshall. 15th is Jason Williams. 16th, Glenn Klein. Ruben Phelps will roll off from the 17th spot. Dean Guilfoyle from the 18th position, and rounding out the field, the 19th is Brett Campbell. Field sitting in the pit lane, just getting ready to roll out for pace lap 1 of 1. Take the green flag here shortly. Trucks leaving the pit lane, forming up relatively quickly here. Now, just want to cover something here. Some leagues do things differently. I'm not sure if Full Throttle Sim Racing Leagues is going to do this way, but the pace car hits pit lane off of, I believe it's turn 2, if they're going to go green. See them ducking off already. Some leagues wait to the Geico restart zone. Some wait till the pace car leaves the pit lane. It looks like we're going to hold down the backstretch. You see them rolling right now. In the middle of 3 and 4, there is a designated restart zone that may be visible on the wall and the lower apron. It says Geico on it. Once they get there, the leader can fire, and then they'll be off and running. First on the restarts, but on the initial start, probably on just green. Aiden Schultz in the gas, green flag in the air. We're off and running the Arizona 200. Aiden Schultz across the line leads lap number 1. Field already starting to spread out just a bit. Again, tonight's race is going to be a matter of attrition. You got to kind of keep the rubber underneath the truck tonight. Tire wear is going to be a major factor. This guy's going to have to kind of take it easy. Take care of them. Tires in second place. Kevin Smith real loose off turn number 4. Gathers it back up. Doesn't make contact. Keeps it going. Great save by Kevin Smith early on in the going. Tires not really up to temp yet. He's stuck on that outside lane right now. At risk of losing that 3rd spot to the 6 of Tom Pritchard. Kevin Smith still battling in that 3rd position. Working his way back, wants back around Raymond Yeager. Aiden Schultz so far checking out and running away with it. 6 laps in of 200 here in the Arizona 200. Kevin Smith back up to that 2nd spot after a near issue off turn number 4. Truck got way out of shape on exit, lap 2. Managed to save it. Raymond Yeager back to the 3rd spot. Raymond looked pretty quick in an earlier practice as well, top of the board. Wasn't able to lock in pole position here tonight. Raymond's got a win on the season so far. No sign of Darren McKenzie here tonight. Darren McKenzie was our winner at iRacing Super Speedway just last Saturday. A little bit lighter truck field this evening. Typically we see 25, upwards almost 30 trucks enter the event. Only 19 tonight. I say only 19. That's still a pretty solid field. I've seen some leagues that run only 10, myself included. Still make it work. Vincent Short showing some damage here early in the running of the Arizona 200. Vincent looked relatively strong early in the practice sessions, had decent lap times. Some damage in the left front and left rear of that 005 Holler Boys Racing TV, Holler Boys Racing Silverado. Popple digital business card on the hood. Unfortunately, off to a rough start here at Phoenix Raceway. Top 5 separated by about 4.5 seconds. 11 laps into this race. Back up front, Aiden Schultz, commanding lead, almost 2 seconds back to Kevin Smith, and that number 14, no longer Crunchberry, but Peanut Butter Crunch Captain Crunch Machine. Definitely partial to that paint versus the Crunchberry, but either way, looking pretty stout second spot. See Raymond Yeager running in the 3rd spot still. Top 4 all running where they qualified. Adam Malone up 1 spot. Nigel Payton down 1. Justin Witcher up a couple. Chris Clayton still in 8th. Ruben Phelps is up 8 spots so far. Our biggest mover in the event thus far. Ruben Phelps out of Dunedin, Florida. Have to look you up next time I'm in town. Ruben, my aunt lives there. Activity Hub Bali Open Truck Series field just settling into their rhythm early in the going here in the Arizona 200. 16 laps down of 200 total. 200-mile event here tonight in Avondale, Arizona. Like I said, patience is going to be key. Get settled in for the long run. Keep those tires underneath the truck. Again, we've only got 2 sets sitting on pit lane for these guys to work with, so you're really going to have to maximize the tire life. You're going to be around for the finish. Field spread out pretty decently here early on. It's the thing about this series, mainly this league, these guys run really clean. There's some really fast drivers out in the field. There's a lot of clean racers, really front to back, so you don't run into a whole lot of issues with cautions, at least unnecessary ones. You do have an incident occasionally. You are racing after all. These things do happen. But you got to plan on long runs. It's the only way you're going to get the truck home, at least in the top 10. If you try to burn up your stuff, try to run as hard as you can make that truck go early on, you're going to be in the pits early, topping off fuel and putting new tires on it, and you're going to find yourself looking for an extra set late in the race. Again, those of you who are viewing the race, watching the stream, please check in with us on the chat, YouTube and Facebook. If you're available to share the stream, because it is a new link. Everything had to get shut down early. We had an issue. If you could reshare that link so we can get as many eyes on the race as possible, I would much appreciate that. Certainly so would the league. Aiden Schultz still out to a decent lead, though Kevin Smith has cut into it. It was as much as 2 seconds and, well, about 10 laps ago. Kevin Smith's cut down about 6/10 of that gap. Kevin Smith, the gap still about 1.4 seconds to leader Aiden Schultz. Let's take a quick look at the lap times. Last time Aiden Schultz was a bit quicker. This time, same situation. Lap 24, 14 of Kevin Smith, just a hair quicker than our leader. Not by much, really just maintaining at this point. Deficit to about 1.5 seconds. I know Aiden's probably trying to save some tire for late in the run as well. These guys know as well as anybody it's going to be a long run race. These guys have to conserve tires. This is not a big racetrack like Daytona, Talladega, or even California Speedway, 2 miles. This is a 1 mile speedway. Kind of runs like a road course, runs like a short track. Even though it's not technically a short track. Vincent Short making contact with the outside wall off that corner. Not a good afternoon for the 005. Still some damage on that machine. He's gone down a lap. He does need to try and stay that first car a lap down. If we do get a caution, he can get that lucky dog. Hopefully get into the pits, get some of that damage repaired. Again, Vincent showed some early speed in practice. Looked like he had a solid top 5, top 10 truck. Ran into some early misfortunes. Again, Aiden Schultz still your leader from pole position, 29 laps into this 200-lap event. Once again, Aiden Schultz has put a gap of almost 2 seconds back on second place, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith out of Anderson, Indiana, running in the second spot. Familiar face up here in the top 5 in this series. Usually up front, usually a force to be reckoned with. Aiden Schultz included, as well as Raymond Yeager. Raymond back in the 3rd spot. That number 23 Chevy Silverado. Now we've got back to the 4th position of Adam Malone in the number 4 Southern Stars, I believe. Sometimes I can't keep track of the new sponsors on the sides of these trucks, but that's the paint we're working with. Number 5th position, Tom Pritchard, also a number 6 Southern Stars entry. See if we can get a good look at the paint scheme on that number 6 machine of Tom Pritchard. Vicious Excel Garage, Southern Stars on the hood and the quarter, Tyona Holiday Park, Sky Point. Justin Witcher back in the 6th spot. Circle B diecast. Nigel Payton custom paints and diecast at number 90 Chevy Silverado. He runs in the 7th spot. 8th position, Ruben Phelps, again up 9 spots since the start, the drop of the green flag, 32 laps in. Made up some spots pretty early. 9th position is Andy Barber, also the number 5 Tyona Holiday Park Southern Stars race team. Another good looking paint job. Running 10th is Riz Clayton in the 014 Toyota Tundra. Jason Holdsworth in that number 1 Sandbag Racing Tundra. Tristan Coach in the 550 Silverado. He runs 12th. Carson Conway in the number 72 Holler Boys Racing Ford F-150. Currently in the 13th position. Just, again, trying to make some laps. Save the tires. Nothing really worth risking the tires for right now. So 13th position for Carson Conway, lead lap machine. 14th is Brett Campbell. Brett's also up 5 positions in that 015. I'm going to say Zaya Esports. Apologies if I haven't gotten that right. You'd think 7 races in I'd have it by now, but not quite. 15th position is Maxie Marshall in that number 7 Miller Genuine Draft Tundra. Vincent Short in the 16th spot. A beaten and battered Holler Boys Racing and Holler Boys Racing TV Popple entry. Truck doesn't look too good, but he's out there making the best of it. Hopefully we can get some repairs made to it and maybe be in contention for a top 10 later on. 17th is Jason Williams, the 110 Pennzoil truck. Jason had a pretty good run, I think, back at Dover, if I remember correctly. The truck looked pretty stout. Dean Guilfoyle off the track, maybe. He's not showing up. And Glenn Klein, same situation. So, not a good set of circumstances for those two at the back. I don't know if they just had a connection issue or whatnot. I don't see any issues where they crashed. Maybe Glenn Klein crashed. Lap 2, it appears. Let's see if I've got a replay of that. No yellow came out. Inside Lane Productions instant replay, the number 64 of Glenn Klein. This is the second lap of the race. Ooh, the 015 gets into the left rear. Sends the 64 around. Back up the track. Can only imagine that Glenn may have been very far at the back of the pack when he finished that spin, because I just don't see how a caution did not come out there. But nevertheless, that's what happened to the 64. 38 laps in. Battle for 3rd and 4th. Now we're back to the 5th and 6th positions. Tom Pritchard in the 6th. Justin Witcher in the 21. Bit of a battle between those two. The 06 of Ruben Phelps up another spot. That's 10 positions gained since the drop of the green. Ruben up to the 7th position. Nigel Payton's lost about 3 spots since the beginning of the race. Not terribly poor as far as that is concerned. 42 laps in here. Just trying to get a feel for the truck. Of course, I'm sure, as we've said many a time already, these guys are trying to save some tires, make them go as long as they can. They really got to get them to last to the end of the fuel run because, again, the way these guys typically run, you're not going to see a whole lot of cautions, if any at all. You may go wire to wire without a problem. Back up front once again, Aiden Schultz. 44 laps have been led by that number 52. Since the drop of the green flag, he's got three and a half seconds on second place, Kevin Smith. Putting a bit of a gap on second spot. 6.6 seconds back to third place, Raymond Yeager. Aiden Schultz putting a lap on teammate Brett Campbell in a 0.15. Four trucks currently a lap down or more. Two additional trucks no longer on the racing surface, Dean Guilfoyle and Glenn Klein respectively. Interval between Aiden Schultz and Kevin Smith still about 3.7 seconds. Just about a quarter of the way into this race. Got some green flag stops occurring. Justin Witcher, Jason Holdsworth both made their pit stops in the last few laps. Holdsworth on lap 45, Witcher on 48. Be curious to see what that really does to the lap times of those two drivers. Make a correction there. It looks like the system just assumed that Witcher was making a pit stop, but it seems like it's probably more of the cut across the dog leg on pit exit that showed him exiting pit lane. So my mistake. Does not appear that Justin Witcher, a fifth place truck, has made a pit stop as of yet. Pit last still says blank, so no pit stops for anybody really but Jason Williams and Glenn Klein. Glenn Klein, of course, exited to the pits after his wreck, and then Jason Williams, possibly a similar issue, running in the 17th spot. So far, top times, pretty much everybody running in the 27-second brackets. As quickly as 27.27 and as slow as maybe a 27.70. It's about a half-second gap from quickest to slowest. Right on board with our leader Aiden Schultz as he works his way around Phoenix Raceway here, 53 laps in. Not quite sure what the fuel window is here at Phoenix, but I imagine we're getting relatively close to it. These trucks run about a 75% fuel load comparative to what they can fill to. Shortens up that pit window just enough, but 54 laps, that's 1/4. 50 laps is 1/4 of the race distance. I say that, Aiden Schultz hitting pit lane, coming to a slow in turn number 2. This Swings it wide around the 7, not quite. Slows it to pit road speed. And the agonizing journey down this long pit road at pit speed. Multiple trucks in the pit lane as well. Hayden Schultz, Adam Malone, Riz Clayton, Ruben Phelps, Tom Pritchard, Andy Barber. Hayden comes to a stop in his pit box. No, pit box number 1, the very last stall as you exit pit lane. And he jumps out. Not sure what happened with Hayden Schultz. Lost connection maybe for a moment. Nothing serious. No, he's not going anywhere. Not sure what he's working on at the moment, but now he blinks out once again. Still on pit lane for the 52 truck. Our leader, Hayden Schultz, having an issue, it appears. Not sure what is the issue there with the 52 of Hayden Schultz, but he is definitely having a problem in pit lane. Come to a stop into his box. He's blinked in and out a couple of times. Not sure if he's having a connection issue or if it's a bug with Phoenix Raceway. We have seen this in the ARCA car and even in a Cup car recently where you make your pit stop, it only changes one set of tires or no set of tires, and the truck gets stuck in the pit lane. That said, Raymond Yeager, our current leader, is making his pit stop. Let's see how the 23 machine gets through this. Hopefully everything works out okay for Raymond. Did see other trucks get into their stall and back out. Aiden's still sitting there in the pit lane, definitely down a lap or two at this point. Raymond Yeager, maybe fuel only. Fuel only for the number 23. Did not see the jack go under that truck. Raymond Yeager down and away 13.13 seconds. New leader up front, Kevin Smith. Now, Kevin did make his pit stop, lap 53, about 5 laps ago. I believe it was the same time that Hayden Schultz hit pit lane. This is going to be a big blow to the 52 in the point standings. Not sure if this series runs a drop race or not, but again, coming into the weekend. Hayden Schultz was second place in the points, only 10 back from Jason Holdsworth. Had an opportunity to put some serious distance on the 1 truck, but as we say that, Jason Holdsworth exiting pit lane just now, his pit time was almost 54 seconds. Not sure if Jason experienced issues on the pit lane as well. Very interesting set of circumstances for our top 2 point runners. Meanwhile, third in points, Kevin Smith. He's only 14 points out of the lead coming into tonight. He's up front with the lead. Top 9 trucks are the only trucks currently on the lead lap. Everybody else is at least a lap or more down, if not out of the race. See Vincent Short. He's on the pit lane. Comes to a stop in his pit stall. Can only imagine, yep, right side tires going on the 005 Chevy Silverado. Get whatever repairs can be effected on that machine while he's there. Don't want to take up too much time, but he does have 3 trucks in front of him that he can make up position on. Going back to Hayden Schultz, still showing, sitting in his pit stall. Very unfortunate, not sure what happened with Hayden. Kevin Smith still up front, 10 seconds on P2. Adam Malone, the number 4 truck. This is a great opportunity for Kevin Smith just to save tires until that pit stop. And I don't have any indication as to whether or not he indeed did take any sets of tires at all on that pit stop. He may have. Relatively early, though, when you've only got 2 sets in pit lane, I would think the lap 100 and maybe a late race caution if you're lucky for the second set. If you can get him to last 100 laps. I know in the next-gen Cup car, between 40 and 50 is about all you're going to get out of them before they just blow out. A little different scenario here on the truck side, but tire conservation is still important. Back with Justin Wisher in the 4th spot. Ruben Phelps 5th. Ruben trying to track down the 21. Ruben is up 12 positions now since the start of the race in that 06 machine. Raymond Yeager in the 3rd spot. Ruben Phelps, of course, still in the 5th position. Looks like Justin Wisher might be gaining ground. The 550 at Tristan Coach, working his way by the 06. 90 of Nigel Payton, same thing, looking to the high side. Nigel Payton right on the back bumper of the 06 of Ruben Phelps. Again, Ruben's up 12 spots, but definitely feeling the pressure right now from the 90 of Nigel Payton. Meanwhile, Tristan Coach in that 550 Chevy Silverado, kind of watching it all unfold. Really the only battle on track right now is Nigel Payton and Ruben Phelps. Nigel Payton in the 90 Chevrolet, Ruben Phelps in the 06 Toyota. Battles for the 5th spot. Ruben Phelps has it, Nigel Payton wants it. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Payton's going to take a peek to the inside, makes the move. Side by side with the 06 of Ruben Phelps. Off turn number 4 at the line. Give it to Nigel. Nigel's going to cut the dog leg, come back up, clear the 06 of Ruben Phelps into turn 1. Ruben Phelps battling back. Off turn number 2. Gap increasing for Nigel. Nigel Payton up to 5th. Andy Barber in the 5 and Tom Pritchard in the 6. They're working for position right now. Andy 9th, Tom Pritchard is an 8th. Lap truck to the outside. That is the 015 machine of Brett Campbell. Meanwhile, Kevin Smith, our leader, working his way through some lap traffic. Justin Witcher still running 4th. Also running into some lap traffic at this point. 77 laps in of 200. Justin's nearest challenger is the 90 of Nigel Payton. You saw him get around Ruben Phelps a few moments ago. Justin Witcher also cutting that dog leg at start finish, and then now into turn number 1. Middle of 1 and 2. Ooh, Vince Short looks like he collected the wall once again off turn 2, and so did, I believe, the 7. 7 of Maxie Marshall got collected as well. Can't really tell. A little bit of damage to that Miller Genuine Draft Tundra. The idea of the distance between our leaders. So coming off turn number 4, we've got Kevin Smith. 15 seconds back to Adam Malone and Raymond Yeager. There's the 4. There's the 23. Huge lead for Kevin Smith. Almost a halfway, about 20 laps shy of the 100 lap mark of the Activity Hub Bali Arizona 200. 81 miles into this event, no cautions. Lead lap cars are down to 7. Last truck on the lead lap is Riz Clayton, the 014 machine. Kevin Smith, still your leader. Looks like he is reeling in the 005 of Vince Short once again. Vincent Short not able to get a whole lot of repairs done to that machine under this green flag stop that he's recently made. Short giving the leader the bottom. Plenty of room. Adam Malone in that number 4 Southern Stars truck. He's up to the 2nd spot. Working some lap traffic. Hayden Schultz back on the track. I'm not sure what happened with the 52, if he got stuck in pit lane or maybe had a hardware issue, but Hayden on the track trying to collect as many points as possible. Hayden showing in the 17th spot. Right now, last car in line of those still on the racing surface. See Nigel Payton up to the 3rd position of that number 90. Raymond Yeager, he's in the 4th spot. Justin Witcher in the 5th spot at number 21. Circle B die-cast Chevy Silverado. Ruben Phelps running in the 6th position still. Again, pretty good night for Ruben Phelps, up 11 spots from where he qualified. So Jason Williams making a pit stop this time. Could be scheduled. It would be right about 45 laps since last stop, depending on when he was in previously. Let's keep an eye on Kevin Smith to see when he peels off the racing surface and gets to pit lane for another round of green flag pit stops. Lap number 90 goes up on the board. Kevin Smith still with a 16-plus second advantage over 2nd place, Adam Malone. Smith off turn number 2 down the backstretch once again. Keeping an eye on the 14 to see when he makes this opportunity to hit pit lane for his 2nd green flag stop of the evening. Just somewhat curious if there are indeed any kind of netcode-like issues going on with the pit stops. We know this racing surface, this facility, was recently rescanned and updated by iRacing within the last week or two. Maybe a little bit of bugs still presenting themselves to these drivers. You see Raymond Yeager on pit lane, coming to a stop in his stall. Right side's going up, so tires going on the number 23. Kevin Smith still out front. Has yet to take the opportunity. Again, Kevin Smith pit last on lap 53. Which means he went quite a ways before hitting pit lane, kind of stretching those tires, stretching that fuel as far as it can go. So maybe start looking for the 14 peanut butter crunch machine to hit pit lane here as late as the next 10-12 laps. I mean, you may not see him. Let's see, lap 53, lap 106 is a possibility for Kevin Smith if he can push it that far. If he does that twice, so 106, 53, 159, that means he can push really hard on that final stop. Again, provided that we stay green. Just kind of doing the math, 53, 53, and then another 53. So that'd be 159 laps, which means he's got 41 laps in that final stage, so to speak, to run to the end with a lot less tire conservation in mind. Again, keeping in mind, though, he's up to a 20-second advantage over Nigel Payton now. The number 90 truck in 2nd spot. Riz Clayton up to 3rd in the 014. Adam Malone shows 4th, but he is just exiting pit lane. Now, I guess the other question is, how long does Kevin Smith want to wait? Because there's some serious speed discrepancies between old and new tires. Again, 20-second gap to second spot. Maybe he can risk it and keep going a little bit because he's got a pretty significant amount of track between him and the next truck behind him. 27-second laps around here, and he's got 20 seconds on second place. Also consider, right now, the only trucks on the lead lap are Kevin Smith, Nigel Payton, and Riz Clayton. That's our top three. Everybody else is down a lap or more as we approach the halfway point of this race. Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200, all but halfway over. Smith off turn number 4, crosses the line, starts lap 100. Just about to complete the halfway distance here in the Arizona 200. Expect to see that number 14 peel off the track shortly. Next 5 to 6 laps. Her second green flag stop and service of the evening. Top 3 trucks still on the lead lap. Also the only 3 trucks that have yet to make that second stop. Pretty much everybody else behind them, probably 1 lap down. Looks like pit lap 94, 91, 93. There's Tristan Coach, he pit on 54. Carson Conway the same. But once again, expect green flag stops from our top 3 here shortly. If the yellow comes out, it's going to throw a whole nother wrench into the equation here. So now you're going to got trucks that are caught a lap down. When these top 3 hit pit lane, a good chunk of these guys are going to make that lap up that they lost during that pit cycle. But Kevin Smith, Nigel Payton, Riz Clayton really stretching that fuel, stretching those tires to their furthest extent possible. You see Nigel Payton actually starting to gain ground on Kevin Smith. Again, he's still 18 plus seconds behind, but it was a 20-second plus gap just a few laps ago. Lap 104 goes on the board for Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith still working through some lap traffic here. Lap 104. Expect the 14 to hit pit lane maybe in the next lap or 2. Not sure if he really stretched it to its furthest end in that first segment. That first fuel run for the 14. Turn 1 in through turn 2. Not pitting this time by. Going to click 106 on the board as soon as he hits the stripe. Slides the truck into turn number 3. Off 4. Into the dog leg. 106 on the board. Again, this could be his pit lap. We will see in just a moment. Kevin Smith headed into turn number 1 and 2. Not this time. He's going to stretch it 1 more lap, if not 2. And here he comes. Kevin Smith slowing that truck down through turn number 2, hitting the pit lane, trying to get it woed down. Get that F-150 to pit road speed. Lap 107 is the pit lap for Kevin Smith, our leader. Such a significant gap to second place. Nigel Payton still has yet to go by. 4 seconds back. Nigel inherits the lead just now as Kevin comes to a stop in his stall. It's either going fuel only or we've got another glitch. No, fuel only for the 14 of Kevin Smith. He is down and away. Lap 108. Can only imagine that final stop of the race is going to be for fuel and fresh tires, but Kevin Smith, pit service complete, exits the pit lane and rejoins the race here in the 3rd position. Did, as we expected though, bring a lot of trucks back onto the lead lap. We've got 10 trucks now on the lead lap. Nigel Payton is your leader. Riz Clayton is 2nd. Kevin Smith, after his stop, he runs in the 3rd position. Adam Malone in that 4 truck, he is 4th. Raymond Yeager is 5th. Justin Witcher is 6th. Ruben Phelps still up 10 spots from where he started. He runs 7th. Tristan Coach is 8th. 9th, Andy Barber. 10th is Tom Pritchard. .90 laps to go here in the Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200. Riz Clayton from 2nd spot. He's hitting pit lane right now as well. Truck doesn't sound like it's even running, and we do have a caution. Vincent Short has crashed. This may actually work out somewhat okay for Riz Clayton if he can make his pit service without going down a lap. Let's see if Clayton hits his stall. I see that he will. Yes, indeed. And we'll look at the incident with Vincent Short, the Inside Lane Productions instant replay. Off turn number 2. See Vincent Short down low. Not sure if he's having an issue. Running real slow down in that very bottom line. Not sure if the truck ran out of fuel. Just comes to a rest on the backstretch, stops the truck, hops out. Not sure what that was all about. Either way, we're under yellow, lap 112 of 200. This is certainly going to change some strategies for a bunch of guys. Works out really well. I believe Nigel Payton was the leader at the time, but now he's pitting under yellow. I'm not sure if this is by design. Pits should be closed. Nigel coming to his pit stall. Still going to be fuel only for the 90. Saving a set of tires for later. Must have gotten them early on. Down and away goes Nigel in that number 90 Chevy Silverado. Well, as of right now, it is Adam Malone shown as your race leader. We're going to take a short break because we really don't get many of those here in the Activity Hub Bali Open Truck Series. We'll be back before we go back to green. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to Phoenix Raceway. The Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200 is under yellow. Our first caution of the evening. Lap 115 of 200. We had an incident. Well, I can't really say an incident. With Vincent Short came to rest against the safer barrier on the backstretch. Not sure what happened there. No incident, no crash. Not sure if he had a hardware issue at the house or just ran it out of fuel. I know it was a rough afternoon, rough evening for Vincent Short, but pace cars hit in pit lane. Adam Malone in the 4, Raymond Yeager in the 23. There are top two. Pace car dumps into the pits on turn number 2, but the restart is in 3 and 4. So again, keep an eye open for that Geico restart zone. It should be painted on the wall and the lower apron. Not the Cup Series Geico. This one right about here. Now they can fire. They're going to wait. It went just past it. That's okay, too. Adam Malone in the 4, out to the early lead on the restart. Raymond Yeager in the 23. Second spot, Kevin Smith, after his pit service. He's in the 3rd position. This is really working out in his favor as he looks to the high side. Raymond Yeager off turn number 2. Kevin Smith not wasting any time on the restart, gets up to the 2nd spot in behind Adam Malone. Again, neither one of those drivers pit during that caution. They stayed out. Not sure what the strategy really is there. Maybe they just, well, they pit on lap 94. That would be why. Tires are slightly older than Kevin Smith's, but it didn't do them any good to go in and burn that set that they still have in the pit lane, if indeed they did get tires on lap 94. More important to try and save them to that final run. Caution definitely throwing a change and a wrench into the strategies of all these guys out here tonight. Adam Malone continues to lead, but Kevin Smith right on the tailgate of that green and black number 4. Looking to the inside off turn 2 is Kevin Smith. He's side by side with Adam Malone into 3. Give the position and the lead back to the 14 Peanut Butter Crunch Captain Smith machine. Kevin Smith, your new repeat leader here at lap 119. Just shy of 80 laps remaining here in the Arizona 200. Kevin Smith continues to lead, putting a gap on 2nd spot already, up to just over a full second on the 4 of Adam Malone. Adam Malone cutting that dog leg. Kevin Smith keeping it above the yellow line. Not necessarily faster or slower than the other. It's more of a matter of preference and how you want to enter that next corner. Let's take a look at the lap times for Kevin Smith. Last time by at lap 122 at 27:57. Definitely not a slow lap considering these aren't brand spanking new tires. Consider them scuffs at this point. Definitely not stickers, but still decent times coming out of the 14. 27:83 that time by. Again, a 1.5-second interval back to the 4 of Adam Malone. compare Adam Malone, Smith is still about a half a tenth quicker, if not more, than the 4 truck of Adam. Malone running 2790s to 2783s. You'll see it probably drop this time. Yeah, 2799. I'd be willing to bet next lap for Malone will be about a 28. Shows you the fall off that these Goodyear Eagles have. Down the back stretch. 75 laps to go. Into 3. Take a look and see what Adam runs this time. At the stripe, Adam Malone, 28.071. So you can see it, it's almost a tenth a lap. It'll kind of level off when you get real late in the run, but yeah, you're losing speed every lap around this place. See Raymond Yeager in the number 23. Again, Raymond's a winner on the season this year as well. Raymond's last lap definitely about 3/10 quicker than Adam Malone at 27.91. Closing in on the 4. Ever so slightly, a few tenths every lap. The gap will shrink in a hurry. See that time by Malone about 0.02 of a second faster than Raymond Yeager. Raymond ran a 28.12 and officially Witcher, correction, 28.09 for Adam Malone. Malone quicker once again, so it's hard to say. I mean, you see the 23 actually made a little tiny bit of contact with the safer barrier on corner exit. Sure if Raymond is just pushing too hard or if Malone was saving tires. Now he's not. It's tough to say. We know for sure Kevin Smith believes to have a set of tires still in the pit lane that he may take on his final stop for fuel, which will give him the ability, especially with that caution. He's able to push a little harder now than he was. Kevin Smith out to 2.7 second advantage over Adam Malone. Right on board with the number 14 Peanut Butter Crunch Machine. Kevin Smith out of Anderson, Indiana. Kevin looking very smooth in the cockpit of that number 14 truck. Nice and easy corner entry, nice and easy corner exit. Kevin Smith on rails here at Phoenix Raceway. About a 3-second gap back to the 4 of Adam Malone in the second position. See the gap back to Adam Malone, still pretty significant, 3 seconds, and then you've got Raymond Yeager approaching a 2-second deficit to the 4. Raymond's not careful. He's going to have company in the form of the 21, Justin Witcher. About 0.75 seconds back. Let's take a look at the lap time history between these two. It kind of seems back and forth. Witcher ran at 28.26. Let's see, one lap 134, 28.27. Yeager was just a tick slower than the 21. 21 of Justin Witcher may have something for third place here at lap 135. Lap 137 here in the Arizona 200. Kevin Smith making short work of Adam Malone in the desert. 3.3 seconds advantage over the second spot. Very reminiscent of Aiden Schultz early on. Aiden Schultz, unfortunately, having an issue on his first stop of the evening. Not sure if it was software related, hardware related, netcode related, but nevertheless, came to a stop in his pit stall, what seemed like a normal scheduled stop, but then just didn't leave. Truck blinked out a couple of times as if he was having a connection issue. Again, not sure if that was his doing or just trying to reset the truck in his pit stall. But either way, what looked like a runaway victory in hand for Aiden Schultz, granted it was still early, has turned into, so far, him running in the 16th spot, multiple laps down. Taking a look once again, the battle between Raymond Yeager and Justin Witcher has kind of evaporated. Justin has lost about a tenth of a second on Raymond Yeager. Just as I say that, Justin does get that back and then loses it once again. Back and forth, back and forth. Raymond Yeager backing up corner entry where Justin Witcher driving it in deep. The only disadvantage there is Raymond Yeager gets off the corner. A little more exit speed than the 21 of Justin Witcher. Once again, I want to give a call to the 06 truck of Ruben Phelps. Ruben Phelps has passed 12 cars to put himself into a top 5 here, lap 141. Certainly made a charge to the front very early on, and he finds himself in the 5th position. Field very strung out here, all 19 trucks, three of which I believe are in the pit lane. Off the racetrack, out of the race, Vincent Short, Dean Guilfoyle, and Glenn Klein in reverse order. Glenn Klein rounding out the field, then Dean Guilfoyle, Vincent Short. Again, Vincent's issue still unknown. Not sure if he had an actual problem or just had to exit the sim, but came to an abrupt stop on the backstretch, pulled it to the inside, and just parked it. It did unfortunately bring out the yellow. Kevin Smith once again working through some lap traffic down the backstretch. 0-15 of Brett Campbell. You see Nigel Payton maybe taking a pit stop here. Nigel in that number 90 truck. Headed down the pit lane, maybe for his final stop of the evening. You know, they can stretch it about 53, 54 laps on a tank of fuel and a set of tires. This is his opportunity to get that fresh rubber now, see what he can gain on the rest of the field. Comes to a stop in his pit stall. Right side going in the air on the number 90. Moving around to the left side of the truck. Left side's going in the air. 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel for Nigel Payton. He is down and away from the 9th spot, leaving the pit lane right now. He's good to go to the end, providing we don't have any kind of green-white checker issues. Let's drag the rest of the field. Raymond Yeager on pit lane. Tom Pritchard. Ruben Phelps as well. He's hitting the pit lane. Riz Clayton just coming to a stop in his pit stall. Andy Barber. Adam Malone also on the pit lane. Final set of stops here in the Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200 for these trucks. Kevin Smith still out to a commanding lead. Has not taken the opportunity to pit. Don't believe he's going to need to just yet, as he did wait a little bit longer than everybody else on that second stop. Then we had the yellow flag come out as well, so that saves some fuel, that saves some tires. Kevin Smith so far seemingly got everything well in hand here in the Arizona 200 in the desert. This set of pit cycle going through right now. Kevin Smith, Justin Witcher, only trucks on the lead lap, and we do have a caution. Looks like Andy Barber post pit stop has had an issue. Lap 151, of course, the leaders, only 2 of them. Kevin Smith, Justin Witcher on the lead lap, had yet to pit. Let's see if we can figure out, take a look here at the replay with Andy Barber. Inside Lane Productions instant replay. See Andy in that number 5, red and black and white truck. Some right rear damage on that machine. Real loose off turn 4. Nigel Payton right behind it. Gets it to the inside and gets by without issue. Andy does not collect any trucks, but definitely spinning in front of the flag stand brings out the yellow flag. Meanwhile, we've got Kevin Smith and Justin Witcher on the pit lane. Green flag stops for the 14 and 21. This is going to catch, I think, just about everybody a lap down. Still no tires for Kevin Smith. I don't think I've seen him bolt tires on that truck yet. Justin Witcher also leaving his pit stall. A few trucks are actually back on the lead lap with that cycle, though it was under yellow flag. Looks like Adam Malone, Raymond Yeager, Ruben Phelps, Nigel Payton, Tom Pritchard all back on the lead lap here, lap 152. Interesting set of circumstances here tonight in the Arizona 200. We had an oddball caution for Vincent Short, and then Andy Barber just loses it post-pit. Again, cold tires, those Goodyear Eagles not behaving as planned. Sends the 5 truck around at the flag stand. No contact made by anyone else, but we are still under the yellow flag here at Phoenix Raceway. So looking at the lineup right now, it appears we're going to have 7 trucks on the lead lap, but right now you see Kevin Smith mired back in traffic. Obviously, we're still under yellow. We haven't gotten the one to go or anything like that, but I would imagine we're going to get a lot of wave around trucks in front of the 14. They're going to get sent back to the rear so that our lead lap trucks can get a clean restart without dealing with that lap traffic initially. It just depends on how they set up this session, what the rules are for it. But yes, typically trucks that are a lap down or close to being lap tail end, they're going to move them around, get them out of the way, and put the leaders right up back behind the pace car. Kind of as we thought, pace car hits pit lane. Kevin Smith in control here for our restart. Everybody got the wave around last minute. Things that need to be worked out bug-wise here for Phoenix Raceway in the sim, but I'm sure they'll get it addressed. Lead lap trucks into turns 3 and 4. You see the Geico restart zone there. Off goes the 14 as planned. Green flag in the air. Kevin Smith to the lead. Down cuts the dog leg. Big advantage for the 14 over Justin Witcher. Already a half second into turn number 1. Kevin Smith works through 1 and 2. Off to turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. Justin Witcher has gained that time back. Right on the tailgate, looking to the inside. Justin Witcher all of a sudden showing some power here late with 45 to go in the Arizona 200. New leader at the lines, Justin Witcher. Not sure if he made some adjustments on that truck in that last pit stop, put some tape on the front end to give it some more bite. But either way, Justin Witcher to the lead and pulling away from dominant Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith in that second spot, now under pressure from a lap truck. 52 of Aiden Schultz getting by the 14 of Kevin Smith. Again, I think Kevin still might be holding out for that last set of tires. I know he did pit here on this caution. He was due to do so. Maybe used up all that rubber at this point. Fresh tires on the truck, saving it for later on in the race. Again, this is probably that last run, that last green flag fuel run. Save some rubber for the end of the race to hunt down Justin Witcher. Justin seems like he's ready to go. Just ran best lap of the race a lap ago, 27.10 for the 21 truck. That is fastest by far, over a tenth quicker than anybody else on the speedway. Adam Malone being that anybody else, and Kevin Smith was a 27.29 as his best lap. So Justin Witcher turning up the wick here late at Phoenix Raceway. He leads with 41 laps to go. That's not very good. Top 3, Justin Witcher, Adam Malone, Kevin Smith. Moving it back to the top 5, Raymond Yeager, Ruben Phelps. We'll go through our lead lap trucks. Again, Justin Witcher, our new leader here, pulling away from Adam Malone in the second spot. 2.7 second gap back to Adam Malone. Adam Malone in that number 4 green and black machine. Third place is Raymond Yeager. Just coming off turn 2 right now. Under pressure now from Kevin Smith, or maybe he just completed that pass. Kevin Smith, our leader late, dominant leader. Let's drop back to the 4th spot on this most recent restart. Well, Ruben Phelps actually takes a look to the inside of Kevin Smith. Ruben Phelps up to the 4th position. Can't quite clear Kevin Smith just yet. Into turn 1, he does so. 6 positions, Nigel Payton in that number 90. Custom paints and die-cast entry. 7th is Tom Pritchard in the number 6 Southern Stars orange and black machine. And last car on the lead lap is that 014 of Riz Clayton. Back up front, Justin Witcher, 2.85 seconds back to Adam Malone, 2nd place. Move it up to almost 3 seconds through turns 3 and 4 at the line. Interesting turn of events here late. Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. Justin Witcher, we saw working his way up the field before that last caution. Sniffing the top 5. After this pit stop, maybe made some changes to that truck. Improved the overall handling on it. He is checked out into the lead here. Adam Malone, 3 seconds back in 2nd place. It's 35 miles to go in this Arizona 200. '21 truck hugging that inside yellow line very nicely through turns 1 and 2. And you see Aiden Schultz working off of that corner right behind our leader. Aiden's running in the 16th position, laps down, after what appeared to be an issue on pit road. He got stuck in his stall. Aiden is a very quick driver, a very quick truck. He's not going to push the issue here tonight at this point. Not sure really what he's got left to gain unless somebody has a wreck here late. He can make up some positions, just trying to get all the points he can get at this point. Again, Jason Holdsworth, the point leader going in to tonight's race. 2nd place was, of course, Aiden Schultz, and Kevin Smith was 3rd. But now Kevin was in a position to have a really good points night, and all of a sudden dropping back now to the 5th position. Still not too shabby. Looked like he was going to cash in a win here. It seemed all but said and done, but it just goes to show, don't take the hats to victory lane until the checkered flag drops. Justin Witcher thinking of the same right now. Could a victory be in the cards for the 21 tonight? We've got lap 169 on the board, 31 to go before we can find out for sure. Adam Malone is cutting into the gap ever so slightly of Justin Witcher. Adam's got it about 0.4 of a second cut into that lead. It was 3 seconds a bit ago. Now it's down to 2.5. Adam Malone's catching our leader, Justin Witcher. 30 laps to go. See if he's got time to make up the distance. 2.4 seconds now. Adam is definitely catching Justin in a hurry. Let's see if he can continue that trend. Tires are so fickle as far as this track is concerned. You get them too hot, that's really where they start to fall off. You lose that lap time. You got to be near perfect. Hit your marks every corner, entry, exit, roll center the best that you can. So far, Adam Malone is doing just that. Slow and steady. He's got the time. About 28 laps to get back to the leader's tailgate. Maybe do something with Justin Witcher. Now you see Raymond Yeager still running in that third spot. Ruben Phelps in the fourth position. Works off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Again, Ruben Phelps having a great evening comparative to his qualifying effort. Qualified in the 17th spot, now runs 4th. Nigel Payton also a decent run, been up near the front most of the evening, running in the 5th position. And now Kevin Smith, again dominant early. Well, earlier on, not so much the early portions as Aiden Schultz had that category locked up. But since Aiden had his issues on pit lane, Kevin Smith was out front and seemingly just checked out on everyone. Kevin Smith now back to the 6th position. About to give it up to the 6th of Tom Pritchard. Back up front, Adam Malone still cutting into that lead. Justin Wisher's got it down to about 2 seconds. Adam Malone is coming. 26 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. We'll see if Adam Malone has enough time to catch and possibly pass for the win. The 21 of Justin Wisher, 1.85 seconds back is the interval. This could shape up to a really good finish here in Phoenix. Still have the lap vehicle of Aiden Schultz in between the two. Right, if Adam Malone is going to get to the back bumper of Justin Wisher, he's certainly going to have to work his way around that lap truck of Aiden Schultz. Aiden Schultz is pretty quick. We're going to have to see if he lets the 4 go by when he does get there, if he's going to fight him for that spot. Again, just a reminder, Schultz is laps down. Had an issue on the pit lane early on, gave up the lead when he did it. Not a whole lot left to gain. I know he is up 1 spot. He's gotten around Jason Williams. I believe Jason also has retired his machine. Jason hit pit lane not too long ago and is now out of the race. So Aiden Schultz up to the 15th position. Next on his hit list, Maxie Marshall. Not sure if Maxie's up to snuff, how many laps down that machine is in relationship to Aiden Schultz. It's what you have to do, though. If you're out front, you're in the points, you have an issue in the race, you gotta run all the laps. Even if it's, you're a couple laps down and it doesn't look good and it's early on and you just don't want to ride around all evening long, you gotta do it, because those points, when it comes down to the final race of the season, they're going to matter. You look at some of these points races, you're like, man, if it weren't for 2 points I had here, 1 point I had there, it adds up, and they could have won a championship, but because they parked it, rage quit the race. Sorry, you missed out on those points. Aiden Schultz not doing that here. He's running all the laps, much as he can at least. Trying to bring that truck home at least in the 15th spot and get those 15th place points. Laps to go in the Arizona 200. Justin Wisher still leads. Adam Malone is starting to catch the leader. We do have Andy Barber has just recently crashed again, though. Did not bring out the yellow. Let's see if we can get a look at that replay. In through the dog leg. Andy running slow. Speed up the replay here, go real time. Oh, Andy just takes the hard left, parks it on the inside against the wall. Kind of what Vince Short may have done earlier on, but Vince did it, I think, on the backstretch. Andy did it real down low. Did not bring out the yellow flag, thankfully. So this might be another opportunity for Aiden Schultz, though, depending on how long Andy Barber sits in the pit lane. I don't know if he's done for the evening or if he's getting some repairs done, but Andy's down to the 13th spot. Aiden Schultz, Maxie Marshall want that spot, I'm sure. Andy stays in the pit lane, which it seems like he's going to. I don't know if he's getting repairs or if he's just done. Justin Witcher coming to get the 16 lap to go signal. Distance to second down to 1.5 to Adam Malone. Once again, Adam ever so slightly, lap after lap, catching the leader, Justin Witcher. Not sure if he's got enough time to get there. He does, like I said, need to get by 52 of Aiden Schultz, the lap truck in between the two. Kind of think that the 52 is going to yield that position once Malone gets there, but Malone does have to get there. Interval to second place somewhat stabilized at this point. Witcher to Malone, 1.5 seconds, kind of where it's been the last 5-6 laps. Not sure if Malone has really just used up all the tire he had to use. Witcher making a pass on Carson Conway, another lap truck. Carson still having a decent night here, running in the 11th position. Sure, if you ask him, he wouldn't be pleased with that, but still a solid run here for the 72. Jason Holdsworth, our points leader, running in the 10th position, just one spot ahead of Carson Conway. Jason's got a race win or two this season as well. Something may have happened with Adam Malone. Adam has lost almost a full second last couple of laps to Justin Witcher. Justin's gap up to 2.3 seconds now here with 12 laps to go. Not sure if the tire's just finally going away on that number 4 of Adam Malone. Looking back here at the 4, that green and black machine in behind Carson Conway. See, Raymond Yeager is also a ways back, 3.4 seconds to the, well, not to the good compared to Adam Malone. He's trailing the 4 at that gap. Justin Witcher at the line, 10 to go for the 21 machine to bring it home as the victor. Justin now extending that lead again, 2.65 seconds back to Adam Malone. 5.7 seconds to Raymond Yeager. I think Justin may have been saving quite a bit for this last 10-lap run because he has found another gear. Last lap speed, last lap time, 28.29 seconds versus the Adam Malone machine, 0.2 slower. Fastest car on the racetrack right now, the 21 of Justin Witcher. Taking a look at Justin Witcher from our aerial view from our blimp. Hitting a lot of the tower suites here on the front straightaway, but there he peeks out through the dog leg. 7 machine to his high side. 6 laps to go for Justin. Again, still about a tenth and a half quicker than Adam Malone. Five laps to go for Justin Witcher in that number 21 Circle B die-cast machine. That Chevy Silverado looking pretty stout. Off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Just got to bring the truck home cleanly. Maybe no cautions here at the end, and this race will belong to Justin Witcher in that number 21. 4 to go. Just 4 more miles. The Arizona 200 is his. Got a report for the issue with Andy Barber. Blew an engine for the number, I think it was the 5 machine of Andy Barber. Expired an engine here late in the going, so that explains the issue with Andy. Two laps to go for Justin Witcher, and then at number 21 Circle B die-cast Silverado. A late charge to the front by Justin puts him in the wind. Tough afternoon, tough evening for Kevin Smith. Thought this one belonged to him, but he resides in the 6th position, second to last car on the lead lap. Not really sure what happened with Kevin. Maybe a missed adjustment here on that last stop. White flag in the air for Justin Witcher one more time around. 21 truck down the back straightaway for the final time. Justin Witcher looking for a checkered flag into turns 3 and 4. As long as he can get on corner exit, it will belong to him. Justin Witcher is your winner in the Activity Hub Bali Arizona 200. Second place is Adam Malone. Third, Raymond Yeager. Fourth, Ruben Phelps. And fifth is Nigel Payton. Justin Witcher burning them down at start-finish line. Celebratory donuts. Vince Short chiming in the chat. Blown engine for him as well. Great run, and it looks like Justin expires the engine on that Silverado on the front straightaway. We're going to take a short break and be right back with our top 3 finishers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Avondale, Arizona for the Arizona 200. Just wrapped up with Justin Witcher in the number 21 taking the victory. We're going to go to him here right now in Victory Lane. Justin Witcher, are you with us?
Here you go.
Justin, congratulations first and foremost on the win. I got to ask, that last stop, did you stop and do any kind of adjustments, or was it just tires and fuel?
No, it was just tyres and fuel. Got a bit lucky with that last caution. We went three ways with the three of us. Nige was going short, Raymond just a general 50-50-50, and then I sort of went long hoping for a caution and just took new tyres and off we went.
Well, certainly impressive. It looked like Kevin Smith had this thing well in hand, and then that last restart, you guys just kind of blew by him. I think Kevin ended up 6th position at the race end. Was it something you expected to see? Did you think you had something for the 14, or is this kind of just go according to plan?
No, we sort of mid-race, he took off on us and we thought he'd taken an extra set of tyres. So we knew that he definitely had a double stint at some point. And I think if all going well and it had gone green, I don't even think we would have caught him because we would have had too much of a gap. But yeah, like that caution fell right into our hands and obviously didn't work out for him because his double stint was right in the middle of that. So yeah, all of us boys with fresh tyres obviously just took off on him.
Well, either way, very impressive on your part. Congratulations. Before we let you go here, is there anybody that you need to thank that helps get this done for you?
Yeah, the boys at Pinnacle Esports Racing, Nige, Matt, Greg, and Raymond, and myself. Sim Racing Edge setups. Those boys hand us some setups for our races, and Witcher Electrics.
All right, Justin. Well, thank you. Congratulations on the victory here tonight in Phoenix, and we'll see you next Saturday.
See you then. Thank you.
It was Justin Witcher, our winner here in the Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200. Next up, we'll take second place, Adam Malone. Adam Malone, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, sure do, mate.
Adam Malone, it was an interesting race for everybody involved. It went green for a while. We thought it was going to be a flag-to-flag, green flag run, but we did end up with a couple of cautions. Tell us about your last pit stop and any strategies that you may have tried to make work out to bring you home that second place finish.
Yeah, I was just trying to save a set of tyres for that last stint there, which I did, and that caution ended up coming out, which put me a lap down. And lucky I got the lucky dog and got put behind a couple of lap cars, and yeah, they made my way through that, which was all right. And but Justin there, he just had it. I couldn't catch him.
Well, either way, second place is nothing to be too ashamed of by any means. Justin was real fast there on that last run for sure. So either way, congratulations on the second spot. As far as tires were concerned, I know you talked about saving them for that last pit stop. Was tire conservation an issue here at Phoenix? I know in the next gen car you can basically go about 40 or 50 laps and they're pretty much spent. How are they in the truck series?
Yeah, they're not too bad. Like, it just depends how much you look after them. Like, that first stint I did 98 laps with a set of tyres, and they ended up coming down to a 63% there. And yeah, it just all depends on how you look after them, really.
So a little bit of life left even after almost half distance. You did a
Yeah,
great
pretty
job.
much.
Great job looking after those good years here tonight. Again, Adam, congratulations on the second position. Before we let you go, do you have any sponsors, anybody you need to thank that helps you get the job done here this season?
Yeah, just like to thank Tiana Holiday Park, Sky Point, and Southern Star Esports boys I got there. They're a good bunch of guys.
Well, Adam, thanks
Yeah,
again. Congratulations. It's a Southern Stars number 4, brings it home in the second position, and we'll see you again next Saturday.
thanks, Dave. Take it easy, mate.
Last but not least, we have Raymond Yeager in the HBR TV booth. Raymond, this is Steve. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Raymond, again, third place finish. Another solid run, solid finish for the number 23. Tell us about your evening. Was tire conservation the biggest struggle you had this evening, or was it fuel, or was it just cautions coming out untimely? Tell us about your night.
Yeah, so I think for me, it was just trying to get consistent through turn 3 and 4 there. I just couldn't nail it every lap. So I was giving up time to the front guys every lap. Tires were fine. Like after that big, we double stinted the first set, and we had about probably 55% left after that. So it's tires and fuel were fine. Just I just driver's ability was the problem.
Well, if driver's ability is the problem and you still bring it home top three, that's a pretty good problem to have, if you ask me. I'm sure you wanted to be higher than that. Second place, maybe even a win, certainly would help things with the point standings. Top three is still good, but what are your thoughts heading into next week?
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I missed a couple of rounds, so the points are probably too much to gain back now. But look, going into next week, we'll turn up, we'll try and win, like we have been. Obviously, we've been putting it on the podium, which is nice. Tonight, we probably could have got second, but Justin tried a different strategy than I did, and he got that late caution and had the fresher rubber, so good strategy from there. But yeah, we will just try and get a win next week and see where we end up in the points at the end of it.
Well, very good, Raymond. Again, congratulations on the third spot. Is there any sponsors, anybody you need to thank that helps you get this job done here this season?
Yeah, mate. Got a big shout out to the Pinnacle Esport Racing boys, Justin, Nigel, Matt, and Greg. Justin obviously won the race, so good on him. Nigel got fifth, so we had a pretty solid night out. Sponsor the team, 186, do a great job. Speech and Language Development Australia, Witcher Electrics, CarWorks, Sim Esports Network, and of course the Sim Racing Edge, who provided the setup tonight, and obviously it had a pretty good run. So yeah, without them, we'd be a lot tougher.
Raymond, a man who definitely studied his sponsor notes pre-race. Very well done, sir. I must say so myself. Congratulations again. We'll look forward to seeing the next handful of races. Raymond Yeager out hunting trophies here for the balance of the year. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, mate. See you next week.
That is your top three, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Witcher, Adam Malone, and that was just Raymond Yeager in that number 23, third place finisher. Before we go too far, I want to mention our driver of the race. It's got to be Ruben Phelps in that number 06 Toyota Tundra. Finishes 14th, up 13 spots, started 17th on the grid here today. That's your big mover. That is your driver of the race, presented by Inside Lane Productions. A great run by Ruben. I'm sure he would love to sniff the top three there, but then he couldn't be eligible for this driver of the race. So top three, they get their moment of glory in the top three. And Ruben Phelps, he's our driver of the race, bringing it home in the fourth position. So congratulations, Ruben Phelps. So that's going to about wrap it up. We're going to go to our race results here before we step on out. So we'll go over that. Of course, Justin Witcher, your race winner. Second place was Adam Malone. Third was Raymond Yeager. Ruben Phelps brought home the number 06 machine to a fourth place finish, and of course the driver of the race. Fifth place was Nigel Payton, and that number 90 machine, Kevin Smith. Peanut butter crunch, man, just be happy he's going to have a big bowl of that in the morning, because that's going to be rough. I really thought he had this one locked up. Again, you can't count those chickens until they hatch. Can't take the hats to victory lane until the checkered flag waves. And that happened not only to him tonight, but also Aiden Schultz. We'll get to him in a little bit. Again, seventh place, Tom Pritchard. Eighth, Riz Clayton. Ninth was Jason Holdsworth. We'll have to see how the points shake out with that scenario. Jason will likely hold on to that point lead. Kevin Smith still had a decent finish, but not a P1, so we'll have to see when those points update later in the week. Tristan Coach was 10th. Carson Conway, good run for Carson. He was 11th. Brett Campbell was 12th. Maxie Marshall, 13th. And again, Aiden Schultz real strong that first 50 lap segment of the race. Again, we don't do stages here. I'm just calling it a segment as far as the fuel strategy was concerned, but brings the truck home in the 14th position after what appeared to be a pit related, netcode related type issue. I know some drivers have been having problems, not just with the trucks, with the ARCA car, even next gen, having a glitch within the pit lane. So it's tough to have that happen. Tough to have that cause you a win to go away. Tough break for a finish, but either way, Aiden Schultz brings it home in the 14th spot. Andy Barber 15th after losing an engine. Jason Williams was 16th. Vincent Short also lost an engine. Dean Guilfoyle 18th, and Glenn Klein, I think a lap 2 incident took out the number 64, so he'll be credited with the last and 19th position. So again, that's going to wrap it up for me here with the Activity Hub Bali, Arizona 200. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Thanks for being patient and struggling through our early pre-race technical difficulties. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it was network related, but the rest of the stream seemed to go just fine, but try and work on that for next Saturday. Any questions, any comments, positive or negative? I don't like the negative, but I'll listen to them. I owe you guys at least that much. Shoot us an email, hollerboysracingtv@gmail.com, or find us on the Facebook page, Holler Boys Racing TV on Facebook, and Holler Boys Racing TV on YouTube as well. Find us anywhere, like, follow, share, the whole 9 yards. You know how it works. This way you can share this great racing from Activity Hub Bali Open Truck Series with all your friends and anybody interested in sim racing, or maybe a great way just to get them interested in sim racing or even the broadcast side. So that's going to about do it for us. Again, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next Saturday.